this is a tutorial for utilizing for every statements to solve a problem. We have a table with a given with some kind of data, and this data in particular refers to speeds of two different cars. Okay, so we are given a Ford Mustang that traveled 280 miles within a 5-hour period of time, and we have data for Chevy Camaro that traveled 230 miles within a 4-hour period of time. We're trying to figure out which one of these two cars traveled faster. As you can see, it's not very easy to figure out, because even though Chevy Camaro did his distance within 4 hours, it only traveled 230 miles. Ford Mustang traveled 280 miles within a 5-hour period of time. So what we need to do is we need to figure out how fast these cars were going within a 1-hour period of time. So we need to bring this time, their travel time, to one common unit, which would be 1 hour in this case. So what we're going to do is we're going to translate the data into a for every statement first. So Ford Mustang traveled 280 miles for every 5 hours. Now we're going to take that for every statement, and we're actually going to create a ratio out of these two numbers. So we're going to write down 280 miles for every 5 hours, and we're going to make that equal to another ratio. So what we are trying to find out right now is how many miles, so x, it traveled within 1 hour. So all it is just a ratio of the value of distance to time. In order to solve this proportion, we are going to cross multiply. That equal sign in between of these two fractions allows you to cross multiply. So what you're going to do is you're going to multiply 280 times 1 divided by 5, which gives you 56 miles for every 1 hour. Now we're going to go ahead and do the same exact thing for Chevy Camaro. So again, we're going to go back to our table and pull the data from it. The data table tells us that Chevy traveled 230 miles for every 4 hours. Again, we're going to take those two numbers and put them in a ratio. So 230 miles for every 4 hours, and we're trying to find out how many miles, so that's our x, it traveled within 1 hour. Notice that if both sides of that equation, so both fractions, have the same units on the top and the same units on the bottom, it's very important that you're being consistent with that. If you chose to keep hours up on the top, which you can certainly do, and miles on the bottom, you would have to have the same exact thing on the other side of the equation. So again, if you pick one way over the other, that's totally okay, but keep in mind that you have to be consistent, and if you pick miles up on the top, they have to be on top in the other fraction as well, because that's what's required of that equal sign. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and solve the proportion. So again, we're going to cross multiply and do 230 times 1 divided by 4, and that will give us 57.5 miles traveled for every 1 hour. So now we can see that Chevy Camaro is the one that traveled faster. And why? It's because it traveled traveled a longer distance within that same amount of time.